Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is a bit of a longer one. I wanted to pick up and compare the new BH Cosmetics Travel Series palettes to the older ones. So if you're interested in that and what I found out, stick around, we're gonna get into it. I'm about to have a very naked face. Brace yourself. Okay, here we go. I'm actually pretty excited about this video. If you're new here, I'm a pretty big fan of a lot of BH Cosmetics products. I think they make really good, basically drugstore makeup. They got into some financial trouble last year or earlier this year, and they haven't released anything for quite a while. They just released mini travel series palettes, so I had to grab them. There are 5 in total. I have all of them. And I wanted to compare them to the original larger palettes that BH released in their travel series. So I thought for today's video I could put the new ones on one eye, the older palette on the other, and see how they compare. Is it the same good formula? Is it worth picking up the minis if you have the bigger ones? All the things. So let me just show you what I've done. I'm gonna insert pictures so you can see them like all together and, you know, just a little bit more organized. But we'll start with the Mesmerizing in Mykonos. These don't have mirrors on them. Little 4-pan palettes. I haven't opened them yet. I'll tell you why in just a second. So this is Mykonos. This is Iconic in Iceland. They look really nice. And I thought, as you'll see when I insert the picture, that Passion in Paris was probably the closest match. The shimmery blue doesn't have a dupe in this one. So that's something I noticed right away. And then we have, what are you called? Ecstatic in Egypt, maybe? Nice, super neutral 4-pan palette. This one, I think, is pretty much dupeable in Hanging in Hawaii, which I actually just used in a Throwback Thursday video. So, and the last 2 I have are Magnetic in Miami. So this one has 3 mattes and 1 shimmer. And then Meet Me in Malibu. This is why I left the plastic on, because the green shade came broken. I can repress it, but I just want to be able to hold them up and show you. So I'll insert the pictures now while I open all of these palettes so you can see what they look like with their mates, I guess. Now, from the swatches that I did, we aren't going to get exact dupes for a couple of the shades, but I really do think that I can get them pretty close and we can determine whether or not it's worth purchasing the little 4-pan palettes or the larger palettes, or if you have the larger palettes, is it worth purchasing? Like all the things. We'll get there. So let me just scoop up a couple of brushes and we'll get going. So from the minis, I'm going to use these 2 shades as my transition on my right eye. And then from the big palette on my left eye, I'm going to use this one and this one. This is just for fun. There's a lot of kick up in the pan. So we're gonna go with that like peachy shade first on the inner. Again, new palettes are going on my right eye. I primed both eyes with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base, like I always do. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna clean off the same brush. I've got my handy dandy little towel here. And I'm gonna go into the pink shade for the outer portion. This is going to be a pretty darn colorful look because I really just want to use as many shades as I can so we can figure out if these little palettes are worth picking up. So a pink is super cute, really, really light, but you know, just a nice wash of color. Grabbing another clean Rephr 13. We're gonna go into the peach shade in the bigger palette for this side. The tone is different, and the Lost in Los Angeles palette is way more pigmented than the mini Miami palette. Maybe I'll go in with this one from the Malibu to see if we can get it a little bit closer. So going back to the other brush for my right eye, it's basically the same color. Well, now we know. So let me just get this blended out a little bit. I mean, I have done, I'll link all my BH videos in the description box if you want to take a reconnoiter. I've always really enjoyed the Lost in Los Angeles palette. All right, same brush, cleaned off my towel. We're going to go into the pink shade for the outer. Those are very similar tones, the old pink and the new. This one might be just a tiny bit more purple, but it's certainly a bit more pigmented. So there's the new, the old. I've swatched all the colors on my hand, so I have kind of a map of what I want to put where, because we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors on the lid. And then I figured I would go in with the neutrally tan brown shades for my lower lash line just to try them out. The right eye in the mini palettes, we're going to go with this shade as my kind of crease. And this shade. So we're doing two-tone again. Going in the darker purple for the outer on the new eye from the mini palettes. That's nice. It's blending well into the pink. Okay, now I'm gonna clean off my brush and go into this brighter pink for the inner portion of my crease. I mean, even in the mirror, I can barely see it. So on my eye, it looks pretty much the same as that light pink that I put on the outer portion of my transition area. The darker purple, we're gonna go into Passion in Paris and use this one right here. And for the pink, we're gonna go into the Lost in Los Angeles. Where are you? For this one right here. It's a little more purple, but barely. So I think it's gonna work. Okay, so the lighter pinky purple shade we'll do first. I don't know why.
It is a bit darker than this one.
Now the darker purple from the Passion in Paris. Look at that. I mean, that was just the one dip in. Blend, blend, blend. So, older palettes, newer palettes so far. For the crease and outer lid, I want to use this dark blue shade, and this is from the Mesmerizing and Mykonos palette on the very outer corner of my lid and up into my crease a little bit. Going in. Oh, hold on. My eye base has creased. Normally I would use a brush, but I got too much eyeshadow on there. How's that looking? All right, let me wipe my fingers off. Okay, now into the blue from the new little 4-pan. So now we're gonna go into the other palette, and this is the Passion in Paris. We're gonna use this dark blue. They look very, very similar in pan. So on my other brush, all right, let me go into the other blue and just see if I can build that up a little bit more. This one definitely looks more like a royal blue than a dark midnighty blue. But in pan, they look super similar. Okay, so there's the dark blue on the old, the dark blue in the new. I can go back and blend and perfect, but for now I just want to get them on and see where we are. It's time for some shimmer. So for the new, I want to go in with this one right here, this like royal blue shimmery shade, and I'm going to use a flat shader brush. This is the Reference number 2. I really like this brush for the shimmers in the BH Cosmetics palettes. So we're just going to put that on right out here, up into my crease a tiny, because it will end up there anyway. So we don't have a royal blue in the Passion in Paris palette. We have Versailles and Pantheon. So what if I mix both of these? Because this one's more purpley and this one's more cool tone, like deep blue. Maybe they'll give me something similar-ish. Get that on there. Go back in for a little bit more Pantheon, which is the purpley one. Okay, that's where we are with the blue shimmer. Old, new. For the new, we have this one right here in the Miami palette. Now I'm getting quite a bit of fallout, but I was expecting some fallout. My eyes aren't done, or my face isn't done, obviously, so I'm not worried about it. Cleans up pretty darn easy. Just gonna blend over where the two meet, like I do. Very pretty. It's subtle, but nice. For the old palette, we have this purple right here, which has a bit more of a gold reflect in it, but I think it's gonna be really nice. We'll put that right there. Then just bounce over where the two meet. All right, so far that's where we are. Old palettes, new palettes. Now on a Record number 3, which is a pencil brush, I would like to use this shimmery shade right here for the inner corner highlighty bit. So on my Record number 3, I'm gonna put that on right there. That's really cute. It's nice and bright. I think for the old palette's eye, we're gonna go into the Lost in Los Angeles and use the Hills. That's similar-ish. Can you hear the rain? Oh, it's pouring out. Just do the same thing on this eye. All right, I'm going to just quickly blend over all of that and make it look a little bit nicer, and then we'll zoom in for an up close look. Okay, just kidding, I lied. I did blend over all of that and I really like it, but I want to go into the black in the Iceland palette just for a little more depth on the outer corner. I'm just going to like really far out, just a hint of darkness. It's not going to really look like black necessarily, just a little bit of depth. Same thing for the other eye with the Passion in Paris palette and this black shade right here. Nope, this black shade right here. Yes, the other one's more green. But in the mirror, I couldn't tell the difference. All right, same thing. Way out here. Just a little depth. All right, let's take off the butterscotch tape. Oop, got a hair. That's where we are right now. I'm gonna go off camera, clean up the mess, put on the rest of my face, and I'll come back and we can do the lower lash line together. Okay, I'm back, my face is on. Let's finish up the lower lash line. So I thought we could try out these colors right here. I don't imagine this is gonna show up very much, but I thought we could do the dark one and some of the shimmery bits on the bottom. And then we'll just match up corresponding colors with the Hanging in Hawaii palette. So let me, little reference number 3 pencil brush. We'll start with the darkest brown on the outer. I'll bring it about halfway in. That's nice. Right. From the bigger palette, we'll use this shade right here called Honolulu. It's the darkest in the Hawaii palette. We'll just put that on out here. Very nice. Old eye, new eye palette, that is. Let's use this shade first, and then we'll put this one on the very inner. The big palette will go into Waikiki. Yes. And then we'll use this shade right here on the inner portion. And I think for the big palette, this shade right here is the most similar. Okay, let me check on some mascara and then we'll zoom in for an up-close personal look, and then we'll wrap this video up close. This is the new little 4 pans. This is the older, larger palettes. All right, final thoughts. If you don't have the bigger palettes and you really like 4-pan palettes, you know, something smaller, more manageable, I think these are good. I'm not comfortable saying they're as good as the big palettes. I think the formula in the bigger palettes is just a little better. The new smaller palettes are good. It's not the great BH formula, but it is a good formula. So if you were looking for something like these, I think they're nice. They are $7 a piece, which is a bit pricey for a 4-pan eyeshadow palette. I believe these larger ones are about $17. So you have to decide whether or not that's worth your monies or not. I think maybe these mini ones would be good for travel. You know, if you didn't want to bring a big one, chuck a handful of these in your bag and you're good to go. That's all my thoughts on these little palettes. Let me know what you think down below. Do you have any of the bigger ones? Did you pick up any of the smaller ones? I'm super interested. Leave it in the comment section and we can chat. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.